Hi, everybody. As promised, I have my second sketchbook flip through here. I just finished it up. I actually might add some little things to the last page still, but for our purposes today, it might as well be finished. I started the sketchbook at, let's see, it would have been in December. So it's been about 6 months. This is my second semester of art school, more or less. So let's get into it. I'm keeping it off to the side, kind of, because I got into the habit of drawing on this side of the page, and then I would write sometimes kind of personal things on this side. So we're just gonna look at this side. um, the usual paper cutout and watercolor stuff. Playing around with markers and such. This is when I started to get really into pen and abstract stuff. You'll see some of the drawings that I've filmed videos of in here too, I think. Paper cutouts and ink. I think I drew that during critique when I was really bored or something. I don't really have an explanation. More pen stuff. Oh, I will show you this one drawing on this side because I really like this self-portrait. This might be one of my favorite drawings in the sketchbook, actually. Trying to get better about layering instead of just, I don't know, here, let me explain it. Kind of layering these things instead of just having one that is always going underneath, kind of like breaking it up and having them be twisty and stuff. It makes a lot of sense in my head, but I don't know how to explain it very well. This is pen and watercolor. Got this fun little robo-bug guy. Pen stuff. I meant to do cutouts on this page too, and I didn't. This was just some leftover paint stuff again, I think. Yeah. Pen. Oh, here's another drawing. We got a fun little clown over there. And we have, I think this was just watercolor and ink again. There's also some white gel pen in there. Fun cutouts. Watercolor and drawings. This is a drawing on top of a drawing because I started this blue one and I didn't like it, so I just started doodling over it with red pen. Whoever that guy is. Some India ink paintings. Sharpie and acrylic, I think. Watercolor fun. I really like doing like just loose impressions of things in watercolor. It's a lot of fun. You get a lot of interesting textures in there that you don't expect. More pen. Even more pen. Some more pen, and this was actually tea that I had sitting around, and I just like splattered the tea everywhere because I didn't know what else to do with it. This page never really went anywhere, but it's there. I also don't really care for that page, to be honest. More pen stuff. Some watercolor nastiness. Always fun. I don't know. I don't know what this was. I was going to do more with this too, but I never did, so we just got a lot of arms and a little robot. And these were coffee paintings. Again, just I like the texture that you get when you play around with water patterns and stuff. Like the edge on this, it's just very interesting. I like it a lot. I talked a little bit in one of my last videos about being really into Alex Grey lately, and this is obviously where that starts. If you know anything about his work, you could see that. There's also a bunch of stippling in the background that I quite like. This thing, I don't know. Very happy with this one as well. Pen stuff, playing around with textures a little bit in this one. Another one, I was going to do more with this, but I feel like it serves itself very well being simple like this. It's loose and I like it that way. Got this guy, and it's a cutout. I go through phases of being really into like graffiti and street writing and street art and that kind of stuff. I just think it's really interesting. I like fonts. This was, I pressed some bubble wrap into printing ink, which is greasy, so it actually got all over this page as well. So that's all oily and nasty from the ink, but oh well. It's a really cool texture. Wanted to do more with those two, but I didn't really like where they were going, so I stopped and moved on. I think you can tell I was kind of in a weird dry spell when I was doing this. I'm very fond of this piece too. One of my other favorites, probably. This was a really loose, just geometric ink painting, playing around with spaces. I don't know what that was. I was just messing around. Oh, I bought some new paint pens when I did this one, so I was just playing with my new pens. This is, it's acrylic paint that I traced around with a Sharpie, so you can, like, really see all of the fun edges that you get with paint like that. I don't know. Again, I really like organic shapes like that. This thing. Another one of my favorites. I quite like the texture on this guy. Common theme here is texture. This was a draw this in your style that I did of an artist on Instagram. I posted it and tagged them on there, so if you want to go see that, Awful Critter on Instagram, go check it out. Or no, I didn't post this on Instagram on that account, which you should also follow, but Rotbot is my art Instagram. I always forget that they're separate, because I haven't been using my art account for very long. This was like towards the very end of school. It was like during finals. I was losing my mind. They aren't that interesting or complex. I was just trying to have some fun. And then this one I actually did a video of, so you can go check that out on my channel. You can watch me draw that whole thing. And then I was just playing around with some collage stuff. This was the cover of a zine that I bought ages ago, and I didn't particularly resonate with the contents of the zine, but I really liked the title of it, so I kept it. And then I Mod Podged a flower on here because it fell out of one of my textbooks, and I forgot that I had it. A little hobo clown. I was watching a documentary on Netflix on circuses, and they were talking about clowns and why the trope of hobo clown was so popular, and I thought that was really interesting. There is also a video of me drawing this guy. Again, very much influenced by Alex Gray lately. I like it quite a lot. This guy, I want to play around more with this kind of patterning. I really like where that was going. I drew this first, and I was like pretty happy with how it looked, and I didn't really want to fill in the whole page because I didn't want to detract from how this like bug creature thing looked. So I just kind of like patterned in loosely in the background, and I really like how it looks. This was another draw this in your style thing. I'm not actually too happy with how it came out. It just looks so cartoony and like anime. But the original character that was in the post was really cool. Again, I will post my art Instagram down in the description so that you can go check that out if you want to see the originals. And this is just a texture experiment, again, with the paint. I put black acrylic paint on the background, and then where I could see the brush strokes and the little bumps in the paint, I like traced around them. And I think it kind of looks like, you know those heavy metal bands that just have logos that like you can't even read, they just look like a whole bunch of tree branches? I think it kind of looks like that. Like, this could be a band logo, and someone would be like, oh yeah, it says, dead corpse, blood death. And you'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever you say, sure. You know? I don't know. Anyway, that is the last page. I might add a little bit more to it, but I haven't decided yet. There is that. Um, I guess it is time to go work on one of my personally made journals. This was a store-bought one, which is never quite as much fun as when I make my own. And I have one that I started at the beginning of the year and didn't finish at all, so I will go back to working on that one, and hopefully you will see it in a couple months. So, yep, that is all. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked it.